Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas, struggling a little bit with getting my microphone in the right place today. We will not cut that out because we do very little editing. And today I have with me Stuart Winchester, CEO and founder at Marbel. Marbel, not the comic company.
Yeah, the B,
Marbel,
not a V.
with a B like boy, Marbele, like the marbles we used to play with as a kid.
Yeah.
I think I made the same joke when I did the very short interview with you at ITC.
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. So Stuart, thank you for joining me today. How's everything going in New York?
It's good. It's a little chilly. I feel like we finally started winter about a month too late, or fall, we'll say, but it's nice. Do have the window open, but it's nice. Yeah, I appreciate it. Change of seasons.
Gotcha. So Stuart and I connected at InsurTech Connect. He had to remind me of that because I met so many people and got so little sleep at InsurTech Connect my memory is awful. So Stuart, what is Marbel, the non-comic book company?
Yeah, exactly. So Marbel, we started just over a year ago, and really what we're building with Marbel is insurance tools that people actually want to use. And by I say people, I mean customers, but I also mean maybe carriers, MGAs, brokers. The core piece of technology that we have with Marbel is our behavioral APIs and then our rewards APIs. And to cut out all the jargon, what we try to do is build relationships with carriers, with brokers, with MGAs, and we actually have our own consumer product too, where people can actually get rewards for making themselves better risk, more efficient risk, making their house safer, things like that. There's all this amazing stuff out there to improve your household risk, auto risk, life risk, step counting, but we're sort of missing that last piece where people are seeing immediate feedback for it and immediate benefit, even though they might get benefit on pricing or living longer and being safer. So we're building the tools to give them the feedback and the benefits right away in the form of rewards. We're launching something in the next few months that's going to bring that to a lot of policyholders. And then we have about 10,000 policyholders on our consumer product as well who are doing it already.
Okay. So let's kind of go backwards. Tell me about your own internal product that you're offering anybody who uses the app. What does the product do?
So that is more of an organizational product with the rewards piece on top of it. So what we have the ability to bring anyone in and they can sync any insurance policy they want. Life insurance is not live today, but I'm looking at the calendar and it'll be live very soon. So 43% of Americans report keeping their insurance in filing cabinets or in PDF.
I would have expected more than that. Okay.
Yeah. It's the last, as we say internally, it's the last $1 trillion household asset class that's still mostly in paper or PDF. So we give users the way to organize it, share it within their household, look at all the protection, and then they earn rewards on it as well for telling us more details, for referring friends, for referring household family members, or for working with some of our other partners. We're working with This App Saves Lives. We're working with Young Alfred, basically building a bundle of services. So yeah, we have users coming in there. They can also, we also do like quizzes. People can do like educational quizzes about their insurance, just tiny little rewards perks. And then today we do redemption. You can use your rewards for like gift cards. Soon we'll have a charitable donation API integrated. And then we have some kind of fun, wacky stuff coming up in the new year as well.
Okay. So from the user perspective, just from the regular human perspective, so I'm insured by Liberty Mutual. So both my home and my renters and my auto. Okay. So I can download the app right now, give you my Liberty Mutual information, keep it securely in the app, get points for doing that, then get points for encouraging my girlfriend, my family, etc., friends to do the same. And you'll throw me some fun stuff, some educational stuff to keep me.
I think give you rewards for the educational stuff too.
And then you'll reward me for that educational stuff. Okay, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, and then you can shop with us too, and we have all your information, so we can make shopping pretty fast because we have all your policy information too.
Okay. So
that's not our. We want to be more than just a shopping place, right? We want you to come back and find value, But we know that shopping is a big part of that.
Okay, so that it makes sense for me as a person, because it doesn't cost me anything. Okay, but I see that currently you are working with, I don't know if that's the right, but I see that currently partnering with, I see that currently you're able to work with people who have State Farm,
Yeah,
Allstate,
we're able to
Liberty,
pull
Lemonade,
information.
Progressive,
Exactly.
Geico, Travelers. I didn't know they were called the Travelers. Okay, Travelers, USAA, Nationwide Farmers. So you've got,
So we're able to pull information from all those
the,
providers.
and
Exactly.
that probably, if I had to guess, that probably covers like 70% of all personal lines insurance in the States.
Pretty much. Yeah. I
Okay.
think that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. So why? What do they get out of it? Because at first glance, if I'm Nationwide, right, the last thing I want is for you to make it easy for my people to shop and end up going to a cheaper company, even if the coverage is not as good. Why do they play along? What do you offer the
Well,
carriers?
for us right now, it's just the users asking us to go and pull their information. So for us, while we have talked to all those carriers, for those logos that you see, those are people who users have said, hey, I have a policy from Travelers, I have a policy from Lemonade. Can you set up the pipes to pull in my policy? Which we've done. And
Okay.
that's the user giving us their permission and their request to do it.
Okay.
Now,
Perfect.
flip side though is when those carriers, so we've been talking to another national carrier and we've been able to say to them, hey, we actually have like thousands of users from your book on our platform. We would also love to build something with you where consumers can have a similar interaction, but all in your brand, all with your actions that you want to incentivize. So you can start to see some of these benefits. We can incentivize people to download risk protection assets, to do inventories, to do an earthquake preparation, to switch to ACH and save you $8 a year on payment fees. So yeah, so we sort of we try to offer. I mean, this is all sort of, for some background, born out of the fact that the last two companies I worked at, Better.com, which is an online mortgage company, and General Assembly, both successfully did this, right? Where they had consumer products where like you or I could go take a class, or you and I could go get a mortgage directly from the brand. But you could also go and experience those products. You could take a class with IBM that was created by General Assembly. You could go get a mortgage from Ally Bank, which was powered by Better. So for Marbel, we're trying to do the same thing. You could have Liberty Mutual today, come and use marbelpay.com. If we're fortunate enough to work with Liberty Mutual on the enterprise side in the next few years, you might be touching the same technology, but seeing it all on the Liberty Mutual website.
Okay. So and by the way, anybody listening from the carrier space, which is half of our listeners, let me break it to you. We are never going to fall in love with your internal app, regardless of how good it is. Right? Even a giant nerd like myself.
And there's some great ones.
I can't I don't even have the Liberty app on my phone now. If I had an accident, I would probably download it in order to report the accident, but I'm never going to be engaged with it because there's nothing you could possibly do internally with just your single brand, short of like cashback for logging into the app.
But like Tony, that's the fundamental point. Is like the apps can be great and they can be so innovative and engaging, but fundamentally consumers have 3+ policies: life, renters, home, pet, auto, and those could be from different providers. And frankly, I just consider it all insurance as a consumer. So I want one place for all my insurance,
100%.
and I don't want 6 apps. So it's a structural thing that we hope to provide a solution for while still being, close to the carriers.
And you know what it reminded me of, and again, I haven't used the app, right? So I'm not budging for the app itself. I'm assuming, and whatever ideas I give you, you can develop into it later. but I remember several years ago when iPhones first became a big thing. I'm a big believer in gamification. Okay, and I personally use Habitica for both work and my personal life. And I remember years ago when Foursquare had the whole becoming the mayor thing. I think
I remember that
from that, and I moved away from the app. But for a long time, I was the mayor at my local Starbucks, and I took it seriously. Like I made sure
Oh yeah, yeah.
To check in every time. And there's probably times that I went there specifically to make sure that I kept my mayorship. It's silly, and I was not getting a Starbucks gift card as a reward for being that. But gamification works, and even more if there's some if my points are translatable to something, to a gift card or something. But
It's
it
really
has to be
valuable.
that kind of that kind of generic experience. What I mean by generic is it has to be not just for my one insurance company, right?
Yeah,
I have to have
yeah.
multiple reasons to keep coming back.
It has to be how I, as a consumer, think about it, right? And I think about all. It's like I don't have one login for my Microsoft stock or my Apple stock. It's all stock to me. It's
That's a
all an asset.
great way to put it. That is a really great way to put it.
So but it's so funny you say that, because like even my our head of marketing and myself, we've worked together for a long time, and we both have Pocket, which is like a read, you can like read articles on it.
Uh-huh.
And every year they put out a report. It's like, who are the top 1% of readers, top. And every year for many years now, the moment it comes out, we forward it to each other, like, where were you, like. And like this year she beat me. She was in like the top 1% and I was in the top 5%, and it was like a bot. And now I'm like reading articles every night, like, no way she gets past
I
me.
used to be in the top, I can't remember, 10% or whatever of Waze report, like when you report
Oh
an
yeah,
accident,
yeah.
because I had a field role, so I used Waze all day every day,
So
driving around Northern California, and I would report everything. And I like exactly, I hear you, like there are
yeah.
bragging rights on all
No,
of
it's very motivating.
absolutely. And I like to use the example of my girlfriend, because my girlfriend is
Mhm.
my diametric opposite. She's a non-gamer. I'm a gamer, so I'm easy to influence in this kind of way. She's a non-gamer. She thinks it's very, very silly, and yet she learned Spanish by using Duolingo. And I can't
Okay.
tell you how I can't like Duolingo. The way that one of the ways that they gamify it is they tell you how many days in a row you've done at least X number of exercises.
Streak. Yeah.
And she took her streak seriously for years at a time, and it worked. And even though she's not a gamer, like it just it that's when I understood that gamification really works. So and another thing that I don't know if you're doing it, but I would love to see you guys do, and it sounds like you're kind of doing it. One of the big problems with having insurance is educating
Yeah.
people on what we cover, what's not covered, on how to lower their risks, right? And lowering the risk is a win-win for both them, because they do have a deductible if they have a loss, and for us for not paying that loss, right? So it's a good and it's a good for society also. So anything you can do in the app, anything that gives points and or is fun, that teaches people how insurance works and how to reduce your risks, uh, you deserve a Nobel Prize for that one.
We did
Uh,
it's so funny you say that. We have so much more to do on this and a lot of what you described, but we did our first quiz a couple weeks ago. Actually, I think we did it while I was in Vegas. And we put out a small quiz. It was read this article and take this quiz. Um and we'll give you basically the equivalent of $1 of rewards if you do this. So not very much. And that's been the whole thing. A lot of people don't really understand how powerful rewards can be, even at a small amount. And we got over 20% of our users, which to do this, which shows how engaged people are. And a lot of when you're raising money and a lot of people are like, oh, people don't care about their insurance. They won't use this. And it's like, my contention is that we haven't ever asked people to care about their insurance or given them really the tools to do it. And it's like, so it's like 21 in 5 people took a 5-question quiz for very little amount of incentive. And they also read an article, and people did pretty good. Over half our people got the questions right too. So yeah, I think there's a huge opportunity to do exactly that, and to actually make this an ask. Yeah,
massive opportunity. I agree completely. And you were talking earlier about the comparison engine, and which is something that makes every carrier go, oh, right?
yeah,
Because it's tough competition. But even beyond the fact that it's tough competition, the hardest part is that historically what we have seen in the comparison engines is a price comparison. and it's not the right thing for anybody involved, and not even for the consumer, right? Because we can get you a lower price if we give you less coverage, and historically there's been no good way to compare apples to apples, to compare, right? If you can crack that nut, uh even the industry will cheer you on.
But I totally agree with that, right? I mean, again, I think sometimes the stock comparison is a very funny one because it's like you wouldn't just buy the cheaper stock because it's cheaper, right? Like that, there's fundamentals, there's things you have to examine. Like, and again, I agree with you. I think that the rate tabling, I get it. It causes concerns. If I was a carrier, it's also the first thing that people go to. They do care about price. Now we need to, if the carriers really do care about this, we need to be part of a dialogue of like showing consumers what else they should care about. Actually, like before we started, you were talking about like you're a loyal Delta customer, right? And
Mhm.
it's like very interesting because I'm more of like a mercenary. Like I'll fly whoever. But I just had like a terrible experience on another airline. I don't want to, but I was like, man, maybe I should be a loyal customer to an
it, it,
airline. Like maybe
it's okay if it's United, you can absolutely crap all over
no,
them.
it wasn't United, but it was like, but I was like, again, maybe I wouldn't have gone with just the cheapest flight if I had developed like a relationship or knew something different than just the price.
And you're absolutely right, and it's not just, it's not a personality type. What I mean by that is I am extremely Delta loyal, and I'm extremely disloyal in hotels. You would
Yeah,
think that those two things go hand in hand because they're both travel. I have never found a reason to stay loyal to a hotel, and I have found many reasons to stay loyal to Delta. And I'm showing my Delta app. I will black out my SkyMiles number, but basically, I am
I
sitting
mean,
on almost
you're.
900,000 redeemable miles. My girlfriend is sitting
I
on
was.
about 1 million redeemable miles separate from mine. And I am at 790,000 a lifetime bought in seat miles. So I have
Yeah,
flown almost 800,000 miles on Delta, and I'm only 38 going on 39. And if it wasn't for COVID, like I had
you
the
probably would have.
Excel file showing that I would be hitting a million by 42. Because of COVID, it'll be a little later. But yeah, it becomes a big deal. And there's no reason that a great carrier couldn't have
Mm,
that kind of relationship. And in some cases, so I'll give you an example. USAA. I was going to say State Farm, but USAA
I
is an even better example, right? USAA and State Farm, out of the big guys, are probably the best examples of companies that people tend to stick with for a long time. Okay, but the way that State Farm did it was basically they're the biggest, and
yeah.
if we go back 30 years ago, it was painful to, so if my grandpa's with State Farm and he never has a bad claim, a claim that they manage badly, and 95% of people don't have a claim in any given year, right? My dad would be with State Farm, and then if my dad was State Farm, I would be with State Farm, and it would just go on forever, right? Because it was so painful to get a competing quote. You would literally have to drive to the Allstate guy, drive to the Nationwide guy, drive to the farmer's guy to get a quote, right? Well, today, generationally, I don't know, you probably don't know this, but my like where I come from, I come from I'm not a demographer, but I come from the intersection of demographics and insurance employment.
Okay.
And I literally wrote the book on engaging millennials in the insurance industry
Okay.
as employees, not as customers. And I do a
Okay.
lot
Okay.
on that topic. And generationally, I'm not an expert on millennials as customers, I'm an expert on millennials as employees, but generationally, they're not going to stick around just because their dad and their grandpa were loyal to State Farm or to whatever other carrier. Uh, and not only that, they're going to be annoyed by having to see your agent once a year or whatever, right? Like we have to find, so I'm going out very long
No,
ways to say we have to find new ways to create loyalty with our customers, and giving me the right price for the right coverage, making sure I know that, making sure that I better understand my policy, and rewarding me for engaging more than when I have a claim and when it's renewal time, is the way that you gain loyalty. You're never going to gain loyalty just from providing them good coverage, because only 5% of them use that coverage in any given year.
exactly. And I mean, I think it even goes deeper than that I mean, sometimes we have our intercom customer service chat, and I'll go in there too and get in a chat. So we had a user who was having trouble getting her policy attached. She was setting up her Marbel account last night. So I was, watching the Knicks lose and helping her last night. And she ended up leaving her carrier because it was so hard for her to get her policy documents out of her online account and into Marbel. And she was so frustrated that she felt like they were making it hard for her to get her information and to see her coverages, that she was like, you know what, I'm just going to shop around. And it's like that. I don't know that everyone in the industry has yet figured out that those are the stakes of some of these things, right? It's like, you can't just hide the stuff and hope no one asks for it. People are going to start being very questioning.
That is a fantastic example, and you might be doing it on purpose, you might not. I've spent the last decade chatting with carriers about their systems. And I get it. I get it that your system is painful, and that you're investing billions of dollars in improving it. Yeah, the time's up. We've got to get there, and we've got to allow people to engage with their insurance the way that they want to engage with it. I that's exactly the kind of person I am. I've had great experience with Liberty. I'm a former Liberty employee. In fact, I probably still have my Liberty discount. That's probably why we haven't moved. No, knowing their systems, it's very likely that they haven't realized that I'm no longer working there. So thank you for the discount. And we've had no claims, so I'm a good risk. But and nowadays I'm driving so little. But here's the issue. Nowadays with COVID, we are down to one car that is now getting. We're both remote, so that car is now getting maybe 1,500 miles a year, and I'm paying the same as I used to pay when I commuted 25 miles a day each way.
That's
right. So it's top of mind that we want to move towards a telematic solution. And the only reason we haven't is because historically it's been hard to do that while keeping your renters and your auto with the same carrier, and the umbrella with the same carrier, to avoid any coverage issues, right? Well, Allstate now has a telematic solution. I don't love Allstate, but I'm willing to take a look for a telematic solution that saves me a ton of money every month, because I just don't drive much. So I agree. Go ahead.
I'm curious. Did you get I don't have a car. I live in New York, and I didn't even learn to drive till I was like 25. But did you get a refund or a credit for COVID to your auto policy?
To be honest, my girlfriend is the one that manages the bills. I pay 2 bills a month, one to my girlfriend for my half of everything, and one to my student loans. Everything else is so I don't know. We probably did. She could probably tell you off the top of her head to the cent. Well, I know most carriers did do some refunds.
Pretty much they all did. But even to your point again about engaging with millennials or engaging with it, we're running a survey. It's actually permanently on our website in a blog post.
Let me guess. Most people don't realize that they got money back.
76% of people, when asked, and one of the answers is, I don't know. People say no, they didn't, but I'm pretty sure that many of those people did. And again, carriers are just missing this opportunity to actually communicate about what they've already done.
So you earlier today, at the very beginning, you mentioned that you guys are utilizing behavioral psychology or behavioral economics. I believe you said behavioral psychology.
Behavioral psychology, behavioral APIs,
and that is exactly what we're missing. What we're missing is taking a look at our products, at our journeys, customer journeys, taking a look at everything we do. The insurance companies are very product centric, and tech companies are very user centric, right? We need to move to user centric, which is hard with all technology, but we're investing in that. And
that's a great quote, by the way. That's
feel
your next
free.
book.
Feel free to
No,
quote.
you take it. That's what we talk about in our fundraising a lot. Is like we are building a user-centric model of the insurance world.
And
you just said it like better than I have.
So build me something that's user-centric, that is engaging, and that is correct to the latest behavioral psychology research, and you'll have massive success, because in the industry we're just not looking at those things, because again, we're drowning in our own ocean of regulation, in our own ocean of this is the way we've always done it, in our own ocean of our technology, and it's very hard
of
to
even
make this change.
regulation. I would say too. It's like there's all these things that we sort of cut through, and ultimately, sorry to say, the user doesn't care. The user doesn't care that I'm a licensed P&C agent and not a life and health agent, because it's all insurance.
They have no clue. They have no clue.
The user doesn't care
those are
that
things.
California has no rebate law, but Texas does. They might have a house in California, but be living in Texas because that's where their family is. It's a totally different world. And yes, we have these models, and when I say we, in this sort of existing view of insurance, and I ran an insurance agency before, so like I have a lot of empathy for that. But when you talk to people who are trading stocks, options, and crypto on Robinhood all in one place, people who are managing, their budget and their household and their loans on Mint, and all these things are becoming unified. There's very little patience if you're like, oh, we can do that here, but we can't do that here. Or, oh, that person's licensed for this, but not for this. Because it's just not how the user thinks about
it. Can I exchange my marbles? You guys call them marbles, right?
Yes.
Can I exchange my marbles for crypto?
I mentioned we're doing some funky stuff next year.
Because that would be a lot of fun.
Look, I don't want to, I have a head of marketing who'll be very mad at me, but come back in January and we might have an option for you that you'd be interested in.
That kind of thing.
That we know that is one of our more requested things, and we will be sharing some updates about that.
And the funny thing is that crypto is so high. Well, Ethereum and Bitcoin are so high that what you would be getting is like 0.0000000000001, right?
Exactly.
I probably missed some zeros, but people get excited about that stuff, right?
People care about it. It's what they want, and we want to meet them there.
100%. How about any partnerships with an MGA? Since there's a lot of insurtech MGAs.
There are none yet, but we are actively interested in them. And I have not. I've not talked to anyone at either of these companies, so this is just me wish casting. But I will say, when I see that branch and Simply Safe partnership, and I look at that program and I say, wow, how great would it be to take one more piece to that and say, we are giving you the ways to make your house safer. We're giving you the policies to make it better price, and to get you to actually do it, we'll give you a little bit of rewards to set up your home monitoring, set up your home security, things like that. So nothing signed yet, and I mean, full transparency with MGAs, nothing even that warm, but we're very eager to do it.
Many of them listen to us, and we've had many of them on the podcast also. So to all the MGAs, this might be a good idea.
Find our website,
And for the listeners who are not familiar with Branch, we have not. I'm a fan of Branch. We have not had them on the podcast. However, Lamparelli did have them on his podcast, the Yellow Book Road. So I'll try to remember to include the link to that episode, because it was really good.
I like to check that out too.
Awesome. And what about agencies, like traditional agencies? Is there anything with like if a listener is, I don't know, the head of innovation for Gallagher or for a big player like that, how could you guys play with agencies?
We we've had a couple of really good conversations with agencies who are trying to move into a digital space. And I think that the best thing that we can do is offer agents cool ways to differentiate products or reasons to keep your business with that agency. Agencies, to be, for our listeners to this, to be fully transparent, agencies are where we have to be the most thoughtful from a regulatory perspective, because that's where we really cannot touch anything that is solicitation. So it would only have to be with existing policyholders. However, we've heard some inbound interest, and it didn't materialize into a relationship yet, about using a rewards program for re-engagement. So you've already closed that policy. Now let's find a rewards program to say, hey, you're part of the agency family. Here's some re-engagement. Do this, check your gutters, things like this that could be small little benefits to keep you engaged with that agency relationship. And we're super open to that as well. Again, getting licensed as an agent was one of the more interesting and kind of like differentiating parts of my career. And I would love to. We are not an agency, and we don't really have any plans to be an agency. That is another key part of a regulatory position. We don't touch or underwrite policies. So we love to work with them.
So here's a silly idea for agencies. You guys are all, well, most of you, the ones that are somewhat forward looking, are all creating video, and a video with advice for your clients on the gutters, on the right, the how to not burn the house down with the turkey, how to make sure people don't get injured for Halloween, etc.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you have no way of measuring if anybody's actually watching that. Put it in the freaking app and give them points for watching it, and actually watch
I know.
Right, like and just a silly idea, but yeah,
but it's not. It's not. I mean, Progressive just yesterday. I mean, but Progressive just put out a whole new string of like educational and risk mitigation videos, and we saw on their website. And it's like, like go back to your girlfriend's example of Duolingo. Just build streaks, build incentives, build positive feedback loops, and make your whole book, even if you're an agent, stickier and better risk.
And for the listeners, those of you that are in a position of power at a significantly sized company, whether it's a broker or a carrier, you're probably mature. Let's put it that way. You're probably over 45. If you think that we're crazy, ask your kids if they care about their streaks in any app.
Yes.
And you'll find the answer, right? Don't ask him if they do anything gamified, because they might not know what gamified means.
But what streaks do they? Yeah,
exactly. Are there like
leaderboards?
Exactly. Are you what leaderboards do you care about? And you'll see.
Oh yeah, I was yeah.
You'll see that this stuff
or
really
like
does
ratings work. And stuff. Like I like to, I leave like reviews on things. I like to see people like upvoting my reviews and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
Perfect. So Stuart, this has been really, really fun.
This has been a blast.